Merlin Entertainment is a British-owned theme park and attractions company. Despite being based in the UK, they do own attractions all around the world, most famously the Legoland Parks. Here in the UK, they own and operate pretty much all of our major theme parks, those being Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Chessington World of Adventures, and of course, Legoland Windsor. With a near monopoly, the way they choose to run their parks has always been a hot topic amongst us UK-based theme park enthusiasts. In fact, I've already made 2 videos concerning how they are operating Alton Towers, the most recent of these being released just 3 months ago. Since then, lots of new information has come out surrounding the future of these Merlin Parks, so it seems it's time to take a look at what we can expect to see this theme park season. Last season, Merlin reported profits being down due to a lack of guest spending. This was a rather widespread trend for the theme park industry more generally, with even the Orlando theme parks reporting their quietest summer in a long time. For Merlin, this meant that come the end of the 2024 season, they had to make some tough decisions to keep operating costs down. With this, they opted to close a number of attractions, including the Bear Grylls Adventure, Sea Life Berlin, and the Little Big City, also in Berlin. They even announced that they would be laying off 234 employees from Legoland, Florida. These layoffs seem to be a part of further losses the company is executing. Over here in the UK, similar entertainment layoffs, as well as marketing, finance, and HR layoffs are currently occurring. Entertainment staff at Legoland Windsor have already been told that there will be no puppet or pirate stunt show at the park this year. So it certainly seems that layoffs are incoming there. Merlin Magic Making, which was located at Alton Towers, closed in November 2024. Merlin Magic Making was sort of like Merlin's version of Disney's Imagineering. Of course, on a much smaller scale, this team would take care of the theming and designs for the parks. With this closure, over 30 members of staff were made redundant. From now on then, Merlin will be outsourcing some of its theming jobs to other companies, such as Nordic Sky and UK Loco. This is another unpopular decision with fans, as beyond just the job losses, there is a lot of fear about what this will mean for the quality of the parks. Without a central team to do these jobs, outsourcing could result in a lot of inconsistencies and a drop in quality. When you consider the quality of theming on Nemesis Reborn, it really is so sad that Merlin have let go of such quality talent. With all these changes, it wasn't much of a surprise to see Merlin CEO Scott O'Neill step down at the end of 2024. Scott O'Neill had only been CEO since the end of 2022, so certainly wasn't responsible for what most would consider Merlin's glory years. His biggest deal was a partnership with Minecraft, a project that is still in the works. Some have questioned why money needs to be spent on an IP like this, but there's no denying that this is a big deal, and thus could bring the company a lot of success. He was replaced at first by an interim CEO, Fiona Eastwood, who has been with Merlin since 2015, and Eastwood has now been made the permanent CEO. Her long time at the company does bode well. O'Neill's background was more in the world of sports entertainment, so hopefully having someone who knows the theme park industry a bit better will work out well for us fans. But as of now, we'll just have to wait and see. All of these closures, job losses, and the changing CEO does match with the uncertain image the company is currently portraying. Evidently, with all this, there are big shifts happening with Merlin Entertainment right now. Changes that are becoming pretty clear as we receive news of what the 2025 theme park season will look like. The first big change seems to be coming in the way of entertainment within the parks. Back in 2020 and 2021, Merlin were bringing in a lot of new entertainment. The presence of street performers at Alton Towers is one of the things that we have consistently praised in our past videos on the park. The same could also be said for Thorpe Park and Chessington. All of these parks saw a bunch of new events come in 2021 and 2022. Alton Towers had Mardi Gras, Oktoberfest, and Festival of Thrills. Thorpe Park celebrated Carnival, Oktoberfest, and Mardi Gras. Last year already showed signs of these events disappearing, with Mardi Gras and Festival of Thrills gone from Alton Towers and Carnival gone from Thorpe Park. This year, Alton Towers have confirmed that Oktoberfest will too be gone, and it seems the same can be said for Thorpe Park, as neither Mardi Gras or Oktoberfest are currently listed online. It's at these events that a lot of the new entertainment was added, so it's a shame to see it all go. Even the incredibly popular Alton Towers fireworks event has removed its Friday and will now only run on Saturday and Sunday. Don't get me wrong, there aren't absolutely no events going on at Merlin's Parks this year. Alton Towers are still running their February half-term Pirate Takeover, and the After Dark event that was added last year is coming back, although this one is more just about late park openings than entertainment. Then of course, Scarefest and Fright Nights are going absolutely nowhere. In fact, we already know that Scarefest will be starting on the 27th of September, earlier than ever before, and running until the 2nd of November. This will make it the longest season of Scarefest that we've ever seen. So perhaps these budget cuts are occurring to allow more spending at the park's most popular events. The Halloween events. A big common criticism of all our parks here in the UK is that they close way too early. It hasn't been unusual to see 4 PM closures midweek. The same is true of how many days they are open. Even during the theme park season, it hasn't been rare for a park to shut its gates some days during the week, when they know the park won't be busy. This year, Alton Towers is opening on March the 15th and Thorpe Park on March the 28th. Unfortunately, for the whole of March, Alton Towers will only be opening on Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. Now, the 8 PM closures on these days is good to see, but the fact the park isn't open all week until April is a shame. Once the park does shift to these more regular openings, the park hours will shift to close between 4 PM and 6 PM. A few weekends in August are currently set to close at 7 PM. But there aren't many of these, which seems odd considering the summer season is the busiest. Scarefest and fireworks will see the park open until 9 PM. To be completely honest, these hours are an improvement of what we've had in the past, but there does still seem to be way too many 4 PM closings for my liking. With so many on-site accommodation options at the park, it seems that keeping the park open later would be a great way to encourage more that an overnight stay is worthwhile. Thorpe Park's calendar looks rather similar, but with closings that range from 5 PM to 7 PM, which is definitely a bit of an improvement in my opinion. At the start of the 2024 season, with the opening of Nemesis Reborn, there was hope for the first time in years that Alton Towers was set to start turning things around. However, as the 2024 season progressed, it became clear that the excitement of Nemesis Reborn and the park's new leadership was another false dawn. Ride availability became a huge issue, with it being far too common for 2 or more of the park's major coasters to not be open at any given time, or even to be closed for days at a time. Obviously, with the park not yet open for the 2025 season, it's hard to comment on this yet, but I think many will be carefully watching to look for any signs of improvement here. Another big complaint is the food at Merlin's Parks. The price and quality of food at Alton Towers has never been great, but since 2022, Merlin outsourced all food and beverages to a separate company called Aramark. This, in my opinion, and in the opinion of most, has led to a worse quality of food than ever before. With guest spending being down, it seems like this would be a great area to improve in order to boost in-park spending. I know personally I used to love the novelty of the roller coaster restaurant, but with the current limited menu and poor quality of food, it's just not worth eating there anymore. This is another thing that if I was Merlin, I'd really be looking into changing. So far, I haven't yet really touched on 2 of Merlin's most widespread brands, Legoland and Sea Life. Having recently opened parks in New York and South Korea, you'd think the Legoland brand was booming. But it turns out that both of these parks have actually been losing the company money. Legoland has typically been Merlin's biggest money earner, but if they can't even get these parks to work, things really don't look too good. The Sea Life brand, however, has not been doing great for a while now. Therefore, it came as no surprise to see that Merlin are currently considering a potential sale of some of their Sea Life attractions in the UK and overseas. Merlin own more than 40 aquariums globally, many of which are under the Sea Life brand. Merlin seem to think that for the long-term growth of their company, the Sea Life brand might just need to go, or at least get a little smaller. Other attractions owned by Merlin, such as Madame Tussauds and the Dungeons, seem to be safe for now, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see this downsizing spreading further in the future. Sea Life are this year holding the very popular Animal Crossing event at some of their UK aquariums. This has already travelled some of the world, including Europe and Asia, and has seen much popularity. Perhaps this is their final effort to make the Sea Life brand work. I know it's the first thing in years that's going to get me to visit my local sea life centre. Don't get me wrong, it isn't all doom and gloom for the Merlin Parks this season. Alton Towers are opening up a new flat ride, Toxicator, and Thorpe Park only just last year opened the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster, Hyperia. But things certainly do look uncertain. I'd love to hear what you think of the current situation with Merlin Entertainment. What do you think they're getting right, and what do you think they're getting wrong? Merlin are certainly going to have to work hard to get things right if they want to compete with the potential Universal Great Britain Park. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, check out some of my other videos and the links in the description.